Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Menkov. I'm a ruling reality coach, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Alex. So I'm here today in Halkidiki, Greece. It's 20th of August, 2023, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Alex. The important thing about reality is how we are actually using everything that we are learning and everything that we are able to implement in our daily reality. And this is why today I would like to speak about the relationship reality, because it is interconnecting us as human beings with everything. Let me start with my first point of today's presentation. It's about solipsism. There are a lot of ideas, thinking, and mindset techniques that are pushing us towards solipsism, that it is only us into the reality, and that everything is imagination of our mind, that everything outside of us that we call the objective reality, the macrocosmos, is not actually existing, but we are constantly making it because the way we are and because the way we are perceiving reality. And to some extent, solipsism is truth, but basically, reality is built up and created for much more than our egoistic internal experience. In reality, we have several quadrants that are working simultaneously, but also as a personality that which one of us is. Reality is much more than just our own personal experience, than just our own personal awareness, than our own personal journey. In reality, the building blocks of reality are not about each one of us only, but they are more about the relationships of the interconnectedness that are created between all the different beings in the reality. And as a human being, I am been living in my reality to such an extent as a being that is not willing to connect. They don't understand why connection is important. For me, the only important thing in life was me, my family, my closest friends, and everything else was not important for me. Did it create me a lot of benefits or made me a lot of negative experiences? It is debatable which is better, to have very little friends, to be very closed, and to not open yourself towards everything that is out there in reality. Or are we going to be from this type of person that are open towards everyone, towards everything, that are constantly moving into relationships, but they're just on the surface? To understand the relationships from the perspective of reality is very important, because then we are able to understand the above and the below connectedness, and also the inside-outside reality connectedness. And I would like to speak about several relationships. Maybe the biggest relationship we are experiencing is the one which is with ourselves, or basically with some parts of us, basically our individual internal, we call the body, is one of the biggest relationship we have with, because the first thing we become aware about is our body, and we are building this relationship till the end of our experience, because basically this is what we call health, this is what we call body care, and so on. So our body care and our relationship to our body is important, because we are moving this body forward and backward in different directions in space, in reality, and we are using it as a tool in order to experience all the feelings that we crave towards, all the desires, all the energies, and so on. And here I would like to speak about something very interesting, which is connected with the relationship of the body, and this is what we are chasing in reality. A lot of people are chasing achievements, some other people are chasing material things, some other people are chasing in material things, but what is important to understand why we are constantly chasing for things. And through this, we are declaring that we are not enough, that we already don't have what we are seeking for, and so on and so on. Basically, one of the biggest desire of the human being is the desire for fulfillment. We want to be full, we want to be a container, we want to overflow all the time. But then the problem is that we are not created as a body structure just to be something that is to be filled. And that's why we will always feel this emptiness, and the structure of reality was created like this, because the idea of us as human experience is not to take out as much as possible from reality in order to feel something that can never be filled, because we are an empty hole that can never be filled, because the idea of the human being is to live and to experience reality in a true me mode that is helping us all to go into the flow movement. Things, energies, experiences, everything is just happening through us and moving forward to other points into reality. Nothing is to be contained by us. Nothing is to be held by us. Everything is about just things that are moving through us towards other subjects or objects into the reality. And this is why it is very important when we make our relationship with the body to really understand what we are and what we cannot do, because we can live all our life trying to fill ourselves with whatever we think is precious. We can feel that precious is to gather more awareness. We can feel that precious is to be someone that have all the material things in the world and to create a very beautiful ecosystem around us, and so on and so on. We can have very different things that with which we are trying to fill these gaps, but these gaps are created for a purpose, because basically our positioning in reality is to move forward from a being that is willing to take out from reality towards a being that is open reality to flow through us towards the wholeness, towards the benefit for the whole and for the all. And this is a very interesting thing, and it is a fundamental think about what I'm willing to review here about the relationship principle, because the relationship principle in reality is suggesting that there is something and more personalities, more beings than us ourselves. There are more solipsistic beings. For example, in my own personal reality, I'm the big guy, I'm the main hero, but there are so many people, so many other beings that are supporting me towards moving forward and towards creating and generating the reality that I am predestined to generate in my own environment, in order all the people that I'm connecting with, all the beings that I'm connecting with, all the experience that I am having in my own personal reality to be created in such a way that I'm going towards a fulfillment of a predestination and of encoding and the archiving of what is uniquely put through the encoding of reality for me to perform into this specific experience. And based on this, we are developing the different relationship. For example, I'm a Christian. And by this, maybe I don't mean exactly what you think a Christian is, but for sure, through my Christianity, I am declaring a relationship between the above and the below. This is one of the most beautiful relationships that each one of us can develop, the relationship between the solipsistic conscious individual consciousness that we are and the big out and beyond ourselves creator of everything. It is not an easy relationship. There are a lot of deviation there. It is very hard to enter and to penetrate and to touch and to be connected to the source, but this is something that we are developing through all of our lives. So this relationship is very fundamental as the relationship with our body. And that's why sometimes I have an allegory that I'm using a lot. We think that the human being is just one separate body, but our body, through the different non-material parts of us is constantly connected to the cord of reality, to the source. So in a sense, we cannot move, we cannot go into this reality, we cannot have our scenery, we cannot have the generators of our next movement, our next scenes in reality without the connectedness with the above. The above is constantly listening, constantly monitoring, constantly observing the way we are performing. So if we are an observational type of beings, be sure that we are also observed from higher consciousness experiences, personalities, and beings also. So since we are a solipsistic type of being, also we need to know that we are a relationship type of being. So one of our relationship is between us and everything that is above us. Then the second one is between us as solistic type of internal experience and the other beings that are on our hierarchical levels, we call other human beings. Of course, a lot of us prefer not to break our hearts and to be very careful with how we work with other people. How are we to have a defense and not to be open towards each other? We prefer to not support each other, but basically to go into a competition mode with each other in order to go into this survivor mode where I am above you, I'm better than you, and so on type of mentalities. But basically, reality is pushing us toward collaboration, towards understanding the real meaning of relationship. Well, Alex, it's so very easy to speak about relationship, but what about you personally? Well, I have one wife, I have 3 children, I am not planning to have another wife, and of course, I'm hoping for as much children as possible to be given to me into this reality. And I have very little friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that know me. Then I have a company where I'm developing relationship as a owner of a company, as a manager in a company, and my co-workers, which are approximately 30 to 40 people with which I'm constantly correlating. Then I have a lot of other companies with which we have an outsourcing relationship. So basically, I'm approaching approximately 1,000 different type of relationship beyond my small circles of relationships. So in order for all of us to understand that we are not able to be success if we are not leaning and trusting the existence of the relationship, we are not going to be able to understand the reason why reality is willing from us to be connected. First, when I decided and I wanted to be married, I was very strongly aware that what one person can do in reality, 2 persons can do if they are together in a collaboration, at least 10 times more than what a person can do. And I'm a very strong proponent of the family organizational structure, not only for religious reasons, but because I understand how the powers and energies through the relationships are working. When you have another close, intimate person next to you, what you are starting to do, you are starting to energetically exchange your capabilities, your abilities, your worldviews, your energy inflow. And this is helping me to think about things that are beyond me, beyond my ego, beyond my own goals, beyond my own purposes, and to think about the common good of my family. And a lot of us are family people when we don't understand why we are attached to our families, why we are able and willing to give everything that we have in order to support our families, especially when I'm speaking about the male energy, also the power of the female and male energy to be put together into a completeness that is giving something different than what is only one person to go through reality for all its existence here. There is a different type of exchanges of energies, and when the female and male energies are working together, the sacrificial type of experience is starting to happening. And on a subconscious level, this design of a structure is helping us to start living and to start giving for a biggest purpose than what we as a solipsistic being only are. Then this is why we are put into a environment where we are bringing children, and I have a lot of friends for which the familia is everything. I know some of you that know me, we have had a lot of exchanging about the La Familia type of mindset and thinking, and this is connected to this inter-exchange of energies. So when I think about relationships, I think about this exchange of energies between different entities. Once we understand that instead of trying to move into individualistic experiences only, there are much more powerful ways, but these powerful ways of relationships are constantly demanding from us the wholeheartedness of us to be brought forward, to be open, and to be willing to be broken, to be willing to be light, to be willing to be destroyed, to be willing to experience whatever thing we call as negative, but to open ourselves to something more than our own personal energy. Because if we stay only in our own personal energy, we are going to create a very closed and small reaching flows that are not able to have the same impact as when two destinies are gathered together. And I know a lot about this teaching where the human being is 100% complete, and in our days, centuries, in 2023, it's very modern now we to think that each one of us is very enough. And I understand very well why the industry is supporting this topic and why the markets are supporting these ideas and mindset, where we are pushed into the limitation of being individual beings that have our own personal experience. And I know so many spiritual people that are very open and well put into the reality beings with a lot of potential, but they are very afraid from relationships. They don't understand that there is power behind when we have this unity between the different energy. Maybe they're afraid that something 10 times bigger is able to happen when this interconnectedness between the energies is able to happen. If it was enough for the human being to be just a hermaphroditic type of energetical being, it was going to be created so. And of course, in the ancient books, there are some probabilities that in the former existence, we as human beings were only a hermaphroditic type of beings, and on a later stage, we were dissected into two different types of male and female energy type of beings. But it doesn't matter what are the storytelling. The important thing about reality of today is that if we are separated into different type of energetical experience, the important thing is to know that there is a purpose about this interconnectedness. And of course, I have a lot of debates with good friends of mine that they tell me, okay, Alex, just the genitals are not determining us. The genitals are a very small part of what the human being is. And why do you think that this body and the way the hormones are disbalanced towards male or towards female energy is so strongly important for the way the consciousness is developing within each of us, and why we have have the female energy that is more into the care principle, it's more into the beautiful things of life, and why we have the male energy, which is more into pushing through, into breaking through, into more force, into more roughness into this environment, and why we need these two balancing energies to work together towards specific goals. This is part of the relationships business and relationship structures that are created. And this is what I wanted to share today, how I'm viewing relationships and how relationships are really helping me to build this interconnectedness of energetical flows that are creating a new type of egregores of invisible organizational structures that are creating new type of environments that are really helping to support the human beings. So in a sense, there are a lot of positive ways we can build the invisible organizational structures through the human collaboration, as well as there is a possibility for working in this direction in a negative perspective. But what is important to understand that one brain in reality is creating a very limited experience. When we have at least two brains connected with themselves towards a specific goal, purposes, and so on, a super mind is created. A different type of wordings there are for this type of experience, but this is why we have such a big organizations of 80,000 people or 100,000 people. This is why we have the United Nations that some of us hate so much, but these are structures that are created in order the humanity to start thinking on very stronger, higher levels, more than just every individual interest about the higher interests of all of us. And the hierarchical system of the pyramidal type of experience is never going to leave us. It doesn't matter if we hate it, if we are against it, if we just want to splash into reality and to deconstruct everything. Still, the flows of energy have a specific structures that are able, willing to hold them and to enhance the movement of energy. I don't know if a lot of you have heard about the toroidal fields that are the building blocks of all the energies in reality. But even if we as human beings have our own torsos, our own toroidal type of fields, can you imagine when two persons together are energetically connected, what type of a bigger 10x mightier fields of energy, of existence, of experience it is creating? And when I'm speaking about this, I have a lot of experience with relationship, but on a very deeper interconnectedness level. I can give you a lot of examples in the different areas of life. I mean, I can speak a lot about the family experience because I'm married from 1999 to 2023. So it's approximately 24 plus years. And I'm planning to be married till the end of my life. And also, I'm not just a married person, but I'm using the power and the energy that is behind this mindset structure of reality so strongly. I'm putting so much energy into this field of structure to support it, to make it a very wonderful and beautiful environment for both of the personalities into this experience, in order each one of us to explode into the potential in which we are willing to move forward into the reality. And this is why I'm supporting my wife in all the goals that she is envisioning and willing to move towards. As well, I feel supported from her into everything that I'm moving forward in reality. So this is one of the most intimate type of teams that I have created and I'm using a lot into my reality, then how I'm dealing with my children and what I'm willing to do there. I'm creating an example type of relationship where I'm not projecting over them, but we are trying with my wife to be as much as possible example of how we are working with each other and how we are creating a collaboration. And of course, long term, I have an envisionment, I have a big vision about this La Familia type of mindset. I'm building everything in such a way that I'm supporting the collaboration between the human beings. It doesn't matter if they're brothers and sisters, if they're relatives, if they're mothers and fathers. I am strongly into the relationship business, into the relationship structures. So I remember when somebody told me, okay, Alex, just give me your calendar and I will tell you what is important for you. And for example, in your calendar, when you look at it, and if your family is not there at least 2-3 dedicated hours per day with you and for you, then it's not a priority. If your wife or husband is not in your calendar on a daily level, it is not a priority. The same type is with the fitness and the health of your body. So if you want to learn about your personal relationships, go into your calendar and see what is inside there. Then we are going to see so many more fundamental things that are more important than money, more important than fame, more important than Facebook, more important than followers, more important than our so-called spiritual work that all of us are willing to give away for the others. But some of you can tell me, okay, Alex, I'm not married and I don't want to move strongly into this relationship type of games. I have a mother or I have a father or I have a sister, but I don't want to correlate with them. These are my weak points. Don't speak to me about my weak point. Tell me something about confidence. Tell me something and build my own personality and speak me about my individuality. And what I'm trying to explain here, that basically we are into interconnected, collaborating type of experience. None of us is enough. None of us is in a situation where we can perform without the others. And the more rich you become, the more influential you become, you are going to understand that you are wherever you are because of all the people, all the beings in the above, in the below, in and around you that are constantly supporting you. And when I'm monitoring my reality now, when I see how I can count on so many type of people, for example, I have a person that is a constructor builder. With him I'm working for more than 10 years and I'm continuing to working with him, and he is responsible for implementing all of my projects. And I'm trusting him so much that if in the moment he says, Alex, give me 300,000 euro or €500,000, I'm immediately going to give it to him because I'm trusting him. I know what he's doing for me. He has done it for the years. Now I have a project. He's working with me for 3 houses. Then we have other projects. So I'm developing and cherishing this more than 10 years of energetical relationship that has created something and now is giving me so much performance, so much implementation, so much easy flows into the reality in this inter-exchanging that we have created of not only trust, but real beautiful manifestations in reality because of one relationship that I'm cherishing, nourishing, and continue supporting. I told you about my family, how I'm working strongly with all my children towards their future, investing a lot into them, into what they want, into what they desire in order to become beautiful and wonderful human beings that are willing to give themselves away for the wholeness of all of us. It doesn't matter that all of them are going to become very spiritual or according to my own projection about their environment, but whatever type of uniqueness they decide to move into, I'm going to support them wholeheartedly. Then I have a company environment that I'm very strongly nourishing with more than 30%, and with inner circle of people that we are trusting to such an extent that we know that whatever happens, this type of people are constantly supporting us. So this is powerful forces that are helping us, this type of relationship, to know that whenever I move into a direction, I have people around me that are willing to support the different causes towards which I'm moving forward. And of course, let's speak about my relationship with the above, how I'm moving forward into the so-called will of God, which is so broad, so not concrete, and so easy to interpret into different directions. But I always want, whenever I'm moving through realities, to be always in alignment with the above. And that's why I'm constantly seeking for directions. I'm constantly willing to be guided. And what I really liked recently was the way God and the beyond the existence being is actually leading us all into reality. Usually we, the human beings, think that the leaders are the ones that are showing us constantly what to do. The leaders are the ones that know, and we are just students of them, and whatever they're saying us, we are just following up, and so on and so on. But reality fellowship and reality leadership is not working like this. In the Bible, it's stated, walk before me and be holy. Let me correct you then. So what I'm doing, I'm boldly opening all my decision making, all my thinking processes, and I'm really daring to take steps. And meanwhile, I'm seeking to know if I'm aligned, if I'm supported, if all the existence is behind me. My biggest long-term dream is when I move towards a direction, everything to be moving with me, all my relationships to support me into different directions, all my interconnectedness with the above that I have created, to be able energetically to bring success into these different areas of reality, and to design whatever I have moved towards in such a way that it is beautifully being able to manifest before me. So when I'm speaking about relationship, I'm speaking about lifetime investment into everything that is able to support your or my reality. And that is why I remember when I was married for my wife, they told me, you're not marrying one person, you're marrying the whole family. So then I looked to her grandmother and I said, well, maybe when my wife becomes very old, she's going to look like her grandmother. Then I looked into how her family relates, and so on and so on. Until today, I have a very beautiful relationship with all of the family of my wife, and I am constantly supporting them. I'm energetically opening myself towards them, and I'm able and willing to do whatever is necessary for their support. It doesn't matter what type of relatives I have. I want and I know that there is power actually into having relatives. And some of you that have and don't have a good relationship, you just need to know that this type of broken experiences are not giving you good support into your reality. I was thinking long time ago why it's written in the Bible that if you support and if you honor your mother and father, you are going to have much more years of life into your experience. Why it's interconnected to have good relationship with the people that were before you, with the people that have encoded everything subconsciously inside of us. Of course, through the different philosophical and psychological movements, we know that everything within us happened in the first 7 years. So who are we to blame? Our parents. They are the one that have made all the bad experiences that later on in life we are just experiencing, but we can also move into the other direction and perspective of looking into the same thing, that basically it doesn't matter of this subconscious implementation in the first 7 years. They have done whatever they have thought they can do. It was not part of our control. We are taking and absorbing everything that we have absorbed in the first years, but then this is why we have all this type of transformational enlightening and other type of processes through which we can transform everything that is happening to us in our reality into a beautiful long-term de-archiving of building up a beautiful future for all of us. And of course, all this relationship type of thinking is, for me, very important. And of course, if you ask a lot of rich people, they will tell you that relationship is everything. Relationship can ruin you, but also relationship can create a lot of success for all of us. And that's why the more we support each other, the more we collaborate with each other, the more the success is amongst us. And this is why there are so many close communities. There are so many different environments that are exploiting this. This can become also a very negative thing if, for example, I need to pay or to perform in a specific ways in order to enter a specific community, which is maybe going to help me. Then I'm using the same principle, but as a crutches. Then it's not me that is genuinely creating this unique and is participating into these unique experiences, but then it is the egoistic thinking of shortcuts, of outsourcing. Why should I, Alex, build all these beautiful things that you are telling me? There is such a specific community that is going to do this for me. There is such a specific community that I'm going to feel like I'm in a family. But then we enter this type of communities, and long term, we understand that this is a lot of fakeness. It is very shallow. It cannot go into the deep because it has not been genuinely supported by energetical exchanges into your personal daily reality. The important people in our daily reality and the relationship we are to really build in. But Alex, there are so many negative people in my daily reality. What shall I do with them? Whatever relationships there are around us, these are the relationships we are using. And of course, one of the biggest things we are to be thankful for are the so-called negative people that are in our reality. It doesn't matter if you have a lot or very little, cherish them. All these people that are creating different type of discomfort with you, cherish them. That's why I'm still having a lot of thoughts and still have a lot of contemplations about why Jesus taught to love the enemies, to really be bonded, to be connected with those that are constantly working strongly against us. Why we are to cherish the villains that we have in our reality. It doesn't matter if we can allegorically transform them into our long-term shadow self or whatever we are going to discover, still we are to cherish the dynamics. Can you imagine if we live in an utopian environment where there are only good characters and nothing else, and the only thing we are experiencing is a non-stop Barbie type of pink world where everything is so pink, so sweet, and in such a way working that almost there is no necessity for any efforts from ourselves. Of course, a lot of us are constantly dreaming about effortless living, but reality is giving us an opposite type of experience, basically the hidden gems of reality. And it is also part of the relationship experience, is to understand that suffering and pain are the building blocks through which we are transforming ourselves and enriching through entering the new depthness of our experience, the new vividness, and the creation of a totally new type of experiences after we are able to conquer the things that we are not willing to face. And this is a very small part of what I'm doing on a constant base. And in the same time, for disclaimer purposes, I would like to share with you that it is very easy, especially for some type of our archetypes, to get hooked into the relationship and to become scary and to not be able to cut relationships, to not be able to live without a relationship. And this is why it is a big paradox. Basically, I'm a person that hate people in the sense that I don't need people, I don't love connections, I don't have the necessity to be connected. But because I know how the connectedness is not possible to not exist, I'm working even against my design of a will, a subconscious type of thinking, and I'm going and expanding my relationships now because I understand that there is something more. All the time when I'm approaching a relationship, I always start with the 100% negative type of experience. I'm relieving it. And after this, whatever happens into this relationship, it is 100% benefit for me. And a lot of people, when I'm sharing this, they're a little bit scary. But if I don't see my wife in the total disastrous type of relationship, if I don't see my children in a totally disastrous type of scenario of my relationship with them, I'm not able to then long-term commit and give everything into this, because when you go into connectedness 100% all the time, you need to not be afraid to lose everything that you love. And it is a very big secret of how the human being is working, because anyhow, into this experience and into this reality, we are working with these energetical forces of the interrelationship experience. But we are not to be hooked, connected, to be seeking for, to try to hold, to fear of losing all these relationships. So in a sense, the more I'm understanding about how to disconnect from reality, how to not be attached to anything, it gives me much more force and power to go into a deeper connection with everything I'm connecting to. But still, I know that everything that we are experiencing is going to have an end. Every relationship is going to have an end, but till the end is coming, I'm enjoying every moment of every relationship that I am having into reality, because we don't know when the end of any of the relationship is going to be. Of course, maybe the only relationship that is going to last forever is the relationship with the above being. Even with the body, the relationship is going to stop. Yes, maybe in the future we're going to have a new body, a new type of experiences and so on, but still the beyond universal creator, the beyond existence creator is still going to be the same. It doesn't matter how much and the way we are transformed and how many type of religious or world view type of beliefs of existence we have, for sure, everything has an end, but some things. And This is why it is very beautiful to have eternal perspective about everything, because only if we expand into eternal consciousness type of perspective towards the life we are experiencing, we are able to truly enjoy every small precious moment of our existence on a daily basis. And then the most beautiful things that is going to happen in your life or in my life is not to watch TV, to have 10 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours with our telephones, but to be into long-term and beautiful relationships with the beings that are so-called encoded in our own personal realities, and of course, long-term to seek to develop the relationship with the above. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your relationship reality, and remember, ruling reality is existential for all our experience and existence. Enjoy your reality, enjoy your vacation, enjoy your rejuvenation wherever you are, and don't stop to invest into relationships. They're really opening great possibilities for all of us. Bye-bye.